The greatest space strategy franchise of all time is getting a sequel. Homeworld 3 is due to arrive in 2003, and very recently, just a few days ago in fact, a whole bunch of brand new gameplay footage was released. As you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous and very reflective of the now traditional Homeworld style. Right here we're getting an up-close shot of the mothership. It's changed somewhat in this version of Homeworld. Previously it was a vertical ship, now it lays horizontal, but nonetheless it is still very recognisable. Now, one thing that's new with Homeworld 3 is the immense structures found throughout the game. These superstructures, these megaliths, are more than just mere scenery. They're very much embedded within the nature of the gameplay as a whole. In fact, it opens up a whole new area of tactics. Scenery then can provide both cover as well as opening up options for stealth-based sneak-in. Overall then, this will definitely add a new layer of tactics to your overall strategy. Additionally, these megaliths provide for some absolutely fantastic backgrounds and backdrops. And for those of you who are familiar with the Homeworld lore, you'll be likely aware that many of these megaliths are here from ancient civilizations known as the progenitors. So whilst Homeworld is definitely moving forward to new grounds, it is very much founded and based within its core roots. Fans of the franchise will instantly recognise some of the series' iconic features. Naturally, this starts with the graphics such as the ship trails, the colours, as well as the ship designs, but it really doesn't end there. Whilst the UI here is definitely very new, there's enough familiar elements here for long-time players to feel immediately at home. It also looks as though there's going to be many of the now long-used formations for your ship squadrons. Meanwhile, resource gathering remains an important focus of the game, along with building up your fleet as you go. This does bring up one thought of a potential drawback, as was possible with the previous Homeworld games. If you build up enough resources and manage your fleet accordingly, it's possible to simply zerg your enemy, just overwhelm them with numbers. Going to be very interesting then if Homeworld 3 manages to overcome this particular tactic by making the enemy a little bit more resistant to being overwhelmed in that type of manner. Or at least perhaps there's other ways of managing it, such as making resources a little bit more difficult to obtain. Now, in terms of story, very little is known about what's going to happen in Homeworld 3. What is known though is that it is a sequel to the previous games, both in number as well as in chronological order. Homeworld 3 is set 100 years after the events in Homeworld 2. But just how far the third game is going to push story, as well as how it's going to portray it in the game itself, is something that we're going to have to wait and see. But either way, regardless of how the story is portrayed, Homeworld is nothing if not cinematic. So that was the extended gameplay trailer that was released at PAX. But if you look elsewhere on the internet, you can find additional footage. There's around 7 minutes worth of footage. I can't show it all here unfortunately due to the nature of the footage. We can take a look at some bits and pieces. Keep in mind this is all a pre-release gameplay and some things are still likely to change. But even with that in mind, it's clear there's some truly epic set pieces here. Just look at that. Having some combat and conflict around these areas is going to be very interesting to say the least. We also get to see that targeting and combat itself is very familiar, more or less the same in fact as what we got to see in both Homeworld 1 as well as Homeworld 2. But of course this comes with suitable improvements from modern gaming tech, both in terms of the UI as well as the graphics and the game world itself. There's another area which caught my attention quite briefly and interestingly in fact, and that is what appears to be the mothership here, changing its orientation from a horizontal position to a vertical position. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a few years since I last played Homeworld, but I don't remember being able to do that with the mothership originally. Another thing that stood out to me is the sound design. And this is also something that was very apparent in the extended trailer.
Enemy eliminated. Area secured.
As you can hear, the voice acting is also standout. Another thing I'm very pleased to hear is the return of the haunting Homeworld soundtracks.
Target acquired. Gunman in dynamic range. Close and fire. Good work for
First Squadron, Second Squad to subsurface rear...
So there we have it. A whole lot is still not known or remains a mystery about Homeworld 3, but as we move slowly towards the release of the game, which is sometime within the first 6 months of 2023, it's becoming more and more apparent what type of game we can expect. Turns out that is for sure classic Homeworld gameplay. Very much looking forward to it. Do let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. How much of what you're seeing here is what you're hoped to see for Homeworld 3, and is anything you feel may be missing? As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.